PopularMMOs was arrested, the Saga. So today I woke up in a good mood, then realized I had to take care of a new dog and there's a lot of other stuff on my plate. With that, I have absolute zero motivation to make a video for today to keep up my 3-week daily upload streak, and it's 10 PM. So I did what every YouTuber would have done in the situation, and just combined a bunch of my videos into a saga. So if you don't know what's going on with the PopularMMOs situation, or you want to be fully caught up so you can argue against anyone, then watch this entire video till the end. I'm gonna be combining all of my videos about this drama, minus the intro and outro for your enjoyment, so grab yourself some snacks and beverages, and let's get right into the video. Please consider subscribing, as that helps me out way more than you guys could imagine. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get straight into the video. So for those who don't know who Pat or PopularMMOs is, he is a huge Minecraft YouTuber and quite frankly made my childhood. He is famously known for his collab videos with Jen, his ex-lover. With a brief introduction of Pat out of the way, let's get into a brief introduction of Eleni, his ex-lover also. To be quite frank, I'm still not a big fan of Eleni, as she's done some pretty scummy things in the past. I'm gonna link a video top right now of my opinion on Eleni, and a quick example is she posted a video after the breakup with Pat of them two doing the Bean Boozle challenge, which, you know, after the harsh breakup that they had, which I covered in the video, you know, top right like 5 seconds ago, it made no sense. It was just a scummy thing to do. When Pat and Jen broke up, they broke up for the reason of Pat not wanting to have kids while Jen did. With Eleni and Pat, it was a whole different story. There was a lot of fighting and a lot of discontent and a lot of, you know, exposing and arguing on the internet, as Pat made at least 3 to 5 videos on Eleni, all being damn near 50 minutes by the way. I think about like 1 out of every 100,000 people went to Eleni and just left Pat after this altercation due to a lot of serious claims. I've debated people in my Discord about the claims, which now they are being resurfaced due to legal action being taken against Pat due to assault and battery. And yes, I'm going to be showing you all this legal documentation, which is all public information, which means I cannot be prosecuted for showing you it. The last part of PopularMMOs' career, at least when it comes to, you know, females and drama, is he's had girls on and off of his channel. He even showed in one of his thumbnails another girl, and just recently, a week ago, he said, "Meet my girlfriend," and this is the girl in question who may or may not have been assaulted by Pat. Girl in question's name is Liz, and this is all for speculation, so please do not take what I'm saying seriously, as it is not confirmed yet. So I'm not gonna say Pat abuses girlfriend is my title. No, Pat got arrested? Maybe, because according to his public reports, he did get arrested for this, or he's under question for it. And then this actually makes me sad. Right here's a comment from some random person in under Pat's news video. "To be honest, Liz seems different." This is the girl, of course. "You can see that even though she hasn't played Minecraft, she's trying her best and still has fun. She isn't manipulative or self-centered. She seems to be humble and honestly a nice person. I'm really happy for Pat. After what he's gone through, he deserves someone more like Liz." Yeah, saying that Pat's been through a lot is quite the understatement. The dude's been in many breakups, and the worst part is he shows these girls on his channel and then everyone knows they broke up because, you know, they're never on the channel again. If I were Pat, if I got a girlfriend, I would just keep her to myself. I would not be showing her off on my channel. Yet again, if Pat doesn't want to play Minecraft alone, I completely understand. This is unrelated to the video. From here on out, I'm going to try not to be biased at all towards the situation, as it's quite a dire one. And 5 minutes ago, 90H and me, my good buddy, he's on YouTube, go subscribe to him if you want. He made a lot of videos on the situation. We got in a call with Eleni, or I don't know how to pronounce her new name, but that doesn't really matter. You just need to know that that is Pat's ex-lover, someone who Pat was with and had a relationship with. Now, I've said before that I'm not a fan of Eleni. I'm still not, because I think the things she's done is scummy. I said it earlier. 90H basically asks questions, Eleni answers, and then by the end of the video, I'm going to be hopefully putting the nail in the coffin, which makes me really worry for Pat, at least worry that it's probably true. And in the interview I'm about to show you, the probably Pat did it turns into a most likely Pat did it, due to Eleni, Pat's ex-lover, which I've said my, you know, problems with before. She comes out and says, you know, what happened with Pat, and her opinion on Pat is my buddy 90H questions her. And I understand that some of you won't be able to, you know, trust her word, so please stick to the end of the video, because not only am I going to look into the legal documents at the very end, but I'm also going to be looking at something from Jen, which makes me, you know, I hate to say it, but believe that this is all actually true.
Wait, is that Eleni talking?
Yes.
Yes.
Guys.
So all of this might be true. Everything that, like, I'm assuming you watched my video. Then
We've all
holy
seen
crap.
your videos, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I make a video on it too, like, it's gonna spread like wildfire, because if there's a few other commentators who are getting into it too, like Jaden, I don't know, there's a bunch. There's at least gonna be 30 videos, so it's gonna spread like wildfire. Well, like, yeah, it's pretty damning, the evidence.
What happened this morning?
100% true. They're on public court, like government police report, like websites.
And what happened this morning was our moderators, our admin Snips, follows her, Liz, still on her main account. And Liz had posted a picture, and I think I maybe sent that to you, otherwise I can later. It was a discharge slip from a doctor saying she was admitted with a cut and infection to her foot and a concussion.
I believe it was a hospital.
Yes. That also had her full name on it. The first time we've seen a first and last name. So I'm like, well, why not? I'm going to go to the Duval County Circuit Court where I've looked before to see arrest records on people. You can go there. I put in her name. It came up to her arrest because both parties are arrested in Florida when there is a domestic. So my mother was like, go check Pat's name. So I put in Julianelle, and lo and behold, there it was that he was arrested for battery. He's got court coming up June 16th.
Because
so we'll find out what happens.
Domestic battery and bodily injury. And then she got a concussion.
I logged on Discord and I saw like 20 different messages coming from like, what?
Oh Lord.
I'm like, oh, Pat's arrested. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? And then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was shaking like a leaf when I found this out this morning. I was not expecting this to happen. I mean, I was, but not now.
I'm shook, but I'm not surprised. I knew this was gonna happen eventually. I want to like apologize if this is true. Like, oh,
he's charismatic and he's led you guys on and on and on and covered things up and lied and.
I was married to an abuser. I know what they're like. They're con artists. They're manipulators, and that's exactly what he is.
Yep.
I don't
coming again from my mother.
I for whatever you said about me, like I know he mass manipulated an entire audience of millions of people. I knew him for a year and he manipulated me into a crazy amount of things that people don't even know about. So I get it. It's obviously like hurtful when I see people talking about situations that I don't know actually what happened, but I totally understand. He's a master manipulator in perceiving situations out to be where he's the innocent one, and it's not always the case.
Yeah. Can you allow Wack to talk? Is he in? Yeah, I think he's listening.
Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled program of watching the interview, but I need to just say right now, I did not actually speak, although I had the chance at least 5 separate times. I did not speak for one. I didn't see the reason because I had nothing to do with this drama. This drama was all Pat, Eleni, and I guess 90H, because 90H made 5 separate videos, I only made 1. And 2, the main focus of the drama right now is not Pat and Eleni, but that is what I'd want to question, and I don't want to go, out of pocket. I don't want to ask anything that would make the situation even worse. I didn't want to, ask questions about, hey, why'd you say you weren't dating Pat when you actually were? Stuff like that. Those questions are nuts, not the mood. When you are talking about someone in an assault and battery case, why dwell on the past? And I thought the exact thing, I'm like, what am I even gonna ask? So I just sat in chat and actually DM'd 90H certain things to ask, and he did ask him. Back to the interview.
He's gonna keep doing it to other girls. If he doesn't get stopped, it's gonna keep going. More girls will get hurt, and it's gonna get worse. If he's abusing now, it's only gonna escalate from there.
This has gotten probably like 10 times worse than what I went through him. I know I've spoken to one of the girls that he had cheated on me with, and then he was in a relationship prior to. He actually had overlapped that relationship with Liz's relationship again, but she was scared for her life, and she locked herself in a bathroom because she thought he was going to kill her when they were on vacation together. So I know it's bad, but now this is to the point where he's actually being worse. Like, he's just getting worse, and I'm just scared for anyone else who he meets, because he uses Tinder, he meets women, his Tinder account obviously has his car on it, he says that he's a professional YouTuber, that's how he meets people, and it's just getting worse. And I'm just scared that I just don't want someone to like end up on the news like severely like injured to the point that they're no longer with us, which is like my biggest concern.
And there is something here that if this does come out and does get on the news down there, you don't know how many more females will come forward with this.
There could be rape allegations. There could be who knows what might come forward after this.
You could bet he's done it before. Yeah. This is not just something that just happened. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So what do you want to know? What and is Wack got the invite?
Yeah, he just doesn't want to talk.
Oh, okay.
I originally joined because I wanted to know more about the domestic violence. Like, what exactly? Like, do you know exactly what he did, or
we do not yet? We are waiting. I have requested access to the incident report, but someone else got to it first. And on the Duval County Circuit Court, only one person per day can request the document.
And that should have
So tomorrow, I'll request it again, and if they give it to me, which they should because they have given me documents in the past, I will have access to the 5-page incident report about what happened, where, when, who was involved. It may be mugshots, who knows what else.
The only thing that we do know, which is, I believe Squirrel or Doc has sent it to you, or they will later, is that Sunday, like, morning, I know Saturday night he was out at the bars with Ethan, actually, and presumably his girlfriend, but she is underage, so I don't know if that was her or not. It kind of looked like her in the picture, but I wasn't sure. But she is underage, so I don't know for sure. But they were at the bars Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, early morning hours, obviously, he was booked and arrested for domestic battery and bodily injury to another individual. And then she ended up being in the hospital for concussion and abrasions. So that's all we really know for sure. But they were both involved somehow. And then he got a bail that he paid, and he's released now. That's what we know.
Yeah. And then yesterday or the day prior, she deleted every single photo of him on her Instagram and most of his comments on her other Instagram, and unfollowed him on that Instagram too.
And there's a no contact.
And there is a no contact order between the two of them. So if he keeps posting videos about her, he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be making a video on this, or are you
Me?
gonna just? Yeah.
I don't know, because every time I ever speak out, he threatens legal action against me. If I ever talk about my experiences, he just re-uploads the videos about me. And then he also threatens legal action to shut me up really quick. I don't think he actually can legally do anything to me, but it is a scare tactic. This last time he threatened action just over the Twitter debacle that me and him had. And I didn't take any of my posts down, and he still hasn't sued me. So I don't think he has any. Yeah, it's a scare tactic. But it worked. I didn't speak up for months because he scared me. I didn't want a lawsuit going, and I didn't want defamation charges. I don't know. I want to put my story out there. I want to put what I went through. I want to talk about this. I just have like a lot of thinking to do. My bigger issue is anytime I speak up, he just immediately puts those videos out, and I have a career, so I don't really like false allegations about me because my career is in YouTube. So that's not really something that I like.
I don't know what to say.
When Squirrel gets the 5-page report, she'll definitely send that to you. You should probably request it. Do you think you can request it at like midnight EST time, and like that would help?
Is that I'm getting questions because I'm asking questions I should be asking.
Okay.
Is that really Pat's full name? Like, how can I confirm that?
That's 100% his name. I can confirm that. But if you look up his name online, if you look up his full name, he comes up. Like just searching up Patrick. I just searched up Patrick Julianelle as a way to prove it, and like his Patrick PopularMMOs Julianelle agent manager publicist, and his information popped up. And you can also confirm that by if you go into Barnes and Noble's website and search up Patrick Julianelle, his books come up. Brown is just his stage name. Brown is not his legal name at all. I just feel like this probably, I mean, I don't know. It's good that people's eyes will finally be opened. But it's more concerning just for like future women. Like, I don't know. If he does get criminally charged, like he doesn't get his lawyer to like wiggle his way out of this one, he can't get it expunged in Florida because it's Florida state law. You can't like expunge like domestic battery, which is great. Unfortunately, people don't always look up like people they date's records, but still.
Yeah. He's lied to, which is, it's 20 million over. Like, this is incredibly disappointing if this is true. Popular. Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna do to like get himself out of this one, but he always manages to do something. This isn't the first battery charge he's had against him. The other one he's gotten expunged off of his record, so you can't find it. But it's very interesting.
Did you lie when you were in drama with Pat because of pressure, or were you completely honest?
And like my videos, are they asking about?
I think are you implying the video that Eleni made on Pat? Yeah, that one. Yeah, he said yes.
No, that video was 100% honest, and I left out a lot of detail that he wouldn't want public. because I was scared. But everything I spoke in both my Q&A and my talking about like prior experiences video is 100% true of things that I went through with him and actual real situations. And I just tried to like explain my situations, not really go into too much depth that might be considered open to like interpretation, I guess. And then for the record, the reason why I said we weren't in a relationship is because when I met him in August of 2019, he told me we had to hide it. And none of his fans could know because they would hate me, and which is obviously true, but that is the reason why. And then he only wanted to announce it right towards the end of our relationship when things were really rocky, which I wasn't sure why. And I told him I didn't want to because we were on the verge of breaking up basically every other day due to a lot of reasons. So that's where that came into play, which I didn't think was really fair because he went into it not wanting to tell anybody, and then it was used against me.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Eleni's side of the story, and whether or not you like her, some of the stuff she said was actually factual. Like if you search up, you know, Patrick and then blank blank blank, PopularMMOs comes up, it's his actual name, it's verified so far that that is actually him. We can assume that it is him for now. Allegations, of course. I will be able to make an update video on this tomorrow when, like they mentioned, a full report's coming out on it. I will be the first to cover. Also, if you want to see all the reports, I'm not going to go into it individually. Just look on the screen right now and pause if you need it. And the nail in the coffin I mentioned earlier in my video that Pat probably did this is right here. Yes, Jen, his ex-wife, liked a tweet that says, "Pat abuses women." Good God. So Pat was allegedly arrested, and his ex-girlfriend Liz has assumingly been actually domestically assaulted by Pat. And I use the word allegedly with careful consideration because none of this is for sure yet. And something I showed in my last video was Jen actually liked a tweet where the person said Pat abuses women, and Jen then went on to say, "I do not use Twitter regularly, and when I was messaged about all this drama, I went to see what was being said. By accident, I liked a tweet that is now being seen in a poor manner. Pat never in the 10 years we were together laid a hand on me." I just want to say this because I feel Pat is unfairly being portrayed. I apologize for adding more smoke to the fire, and I did not want to get involved, but do not believe everything you hear from people who know nothing of the situation. I think she's talking about Eleni. Or she could be talking about Eleni Stan, she could be talking about anyone in this. But a lot of people actually thought that this was the clear for Pat, like, oh, Pat's definitely innocent because of this. And what I say to that is just because Jen said that Pat never laid a hand on her does not mean Pat did not lay a hand on Liz, his newest girlfriend, you know, the previous one. It does not mean that Pat is in the clear, and it also does not mean that he's not in the clear. I mean, this is really a unique situation, and since it's a domestic charge, it's something we really need to wait to hear from Pat, or we really need to hear from an actual, you know, court of law. Something else people are questioning is in the report for Pat, or Patrick, otherwise known as PopularMMOs, you know who I'm talking about, it says that his, you know, height is 602 inches, and he weighs 0 pounds. And anyone, even people with a brain that only works half of the time, would realize that being 602 inches tall is quite frankly impossible, and weighing 0 pounds is just as unlikely. So I decided to go to Eleni's Discord and ask, you know, the intelligent people there what they thought of it. So I said, it says that Pat is 602 inches tall and weighs 0 pounds. Can anyone explain that for me? This person says they didn't weigh him, most likely, and 602 means he's 6'2". That does make sense. If you think about it, it probably was an emergency domestic assault report, aka they had to call it in quick. They didn't really have time to measure Pat, but that also doesn't make sense because right now, on screen right now, this is Pat's mugshot, allegedly. This is Pat's actual mugshot, and if they have time to take his mugshot, they sure as hell have time to take his weight. Considering everyone thinks that the information about Pat is on an actual legit, you know, website, it makes me question, hey, if they can't get this in, what makes me believe that it's actually legit? Also, if you made this far, please comment down your opinion on Pat and, you know, its entire situation. It quite is a mind boggle for me, and honestly, I didn't want to believe it, and I still don't. There's also an incident report, which I'm going to read to you right now, which is available for the entire public to see. I responded to 911 in reference to making contact with Elizabeth, which is Liz. I contacted Liz and read her Miranda rights, you know, via blah blah blah, you know, you have the right to remain silent. Post Miranda, Liz stated that tonight she and her boyfriend Patrick, aka Pat, PopularMMOs, were drinking at their residence. The two started to get intimate, and during the frick, Liz told Pat that she wanted to stop. After telling PopularMMOs she wanted to stop, Liz said he got angry. It was said that Pat was on top of Liz on the floor and was picking her up and slamming her to the ground. Liz stated that she bit and scratched Pat to get away from him, then accidentally broke a lamp while running out of the front door. Liz ran outside naked and got into a vehicle and drove to 911 First Avenue North. I observed the red mark and scratch on Elizabeth's forearms and abrasions on her knees. Rescue responded and bandaged her injuries. Based on the opposing stories and no independent witnesses, both subjects were placed under arrest for domestic battery and transported to the PDTF without incident. Also, if you didn't know, in Florida, where Pat actually lives, in a domestic case like this, both sides are arrested. Both individuals refused to complete any domestic violence paperwork or provide a written statement or have their injuries photographed. See, I can't speak for the victims. That's a really scummy thing to do. But in this situation, if I got beat and like actually hurt badly, if I was cut up, I would want to get those things photographed as soon as possible so people knew I was not lying. Because if Liz actually photographed herself and you know her injuries, I don't know, on her leg, there's a photo of her knee with a big cut on it. I'm not going to show it due to YouTube guidelines, of course. It's just, it would be nail in the coffin. PopularMMOs would be done. People would be like, well, that is awful and I cannot trust Pat anymore. But due to the refusal to actually give any proof, well, there's no proof that Pat did it as of now. And I'm not complaining. I honestly want to see Pat make a response video, and to be completely frank, since he made my childhood, I am praying to God that he somehow proves this all wrong, although I know it's unlikely. Oh, and what I just read to you was actually Liz's side of the story, and this is Pat's side of the story, what he thinks happened, what he says happened. Upon arrival, I made contact with Patrick, and then his last name, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, who was standing outside of his residence at, you know, his residence. Patrick stated to me that his girlfriend, Liz, had been in an intimate relationship for approximately 3 months and had resided together in the home for a few weeks. The night, Patrick stated that the two had been drinking and got into an argument, and she began to hit him and break things at the home. Patrick stated that Elizabeth got into her vehicle and left and was unsure where she went. Patrick then stated that Elizabeth is bipolar and she acts this way often, however, he never calls the police. I read Patrick his Miranda rights via card. Post Miranda, Patrick stated that his girlfriend were having the frick, and she decided she no longer wanted to participate. He stated that at that point, she hit him and bit him. He never stated he touched her or hit her, even out of self-defense. Patrick invited me to his residence to observe the damage. I observed the broken lamp on the ground in the living room, multiple chess pieces all over the floor. I observed a fresh scratch on Patrick's left shoulder, a scrape on his right, a bite mark on his left forearm, and a bite mark on his bicep. Good God. I honestly don't know which story to trust. Now that I've read you guys' incident reports, I'm actually going to be reading an article that includes Pat's mugshot and more information about him. PopularMMOs, a YouTube star and gamer whose real name is blah 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 Patrick, was arrested on battery accusation but is now out of custody according to online records from Duval County, Florida. He wrote on Twitter that he was subjected to false allegations. A police report obtained by Heavy.com says that both Pat and his girlfriend Elizabeth, Liz, and then her last name, were arrested because they gave opposing stories. And yeah, those stories were pretty opposing on whether or not Pat actually, you know, attacked this girl or whether or not Pat was attacked by this girl. And there's Pat's mugshot. As of May 19th, 2021, you know, Patrick was listed out of custody and he was arrested on an accusation of domestic battery caused bodily harm, according to jail records obtained by Heavy. Heavy also confirmed this information with the public information officer for Jacksonville Police, who said yes, he was arrested, and confirmed the alleged charge. PopularMMOs has addressed the allegations on his Twitter page, writing, "Don't believe everything you hear. I will need to address the false allegations soon, and Eleni, thanks for leaking my address and harassing me and Liz when she told you to stop posting about her and you refused. You are a terrible person." Okay, last tweet was too much. Oh, and if you didn't know, in the last tweet, the tweet before what he said there, Pat actually posted Eleni's address to her complex, like the apartment complex she lives in. And honestly, that is scummy no matter what way you look at it. Although, I don't know how Pat's feeling in the situation. Man's being accused of terrible things, and Eleni's done some pretty terrible things to him. I'm not gonna doubt that. Either way, Pat, if you're listening to this video, I hope you're listening. Please calm down, just hold back, make a video, explain everything, please cover everything. Everything I've covered in this video, you should definitely try to cover and give your own opinion for, and you know, tell me the truth. Tell everyone the truth. And if this is all true, well damn, my entire life was a lie, and my entire childhood is basically ruined. I actually reached out to a person that I found on Eleni's Discord, and I know what you're gonna say. Eleni's Discord, they must have bias. I made sure that they were not biased in their findings. I double checked what they said, and I even questioned a lot of the things they did say. And to be honest, it doesn't matter that they're from Eleni's Discord, because not once did we mention Eleni in our conversation. So this individual named Pugtato, I'm gonna assume that that's how you pronounce it, sent me the documents that I already showed in my last video. If you haven't seen them, go watch it. Then she sends me a message from Liz's story where it was actually, you can see top right, her leg is very very badly cut. It looks like a giant incision went into her leg, and I'm not gonna even assume where that's from. Of course, Pat is the first assumption. There's other things we could assume though. It wasn't just of her leg, it was also of healthcare records. At least that's what I presume them to be. And in an article I read in my last video, it said that neither Liz or Pat would actually show their actual injuries, and it was also said in the incident report that both of them had injuries. So I was like, okay, so I asked this person, has she stated why she would not allow documentation of her wounds yet? Oh, and before you answer that, do you believe the incident reports are legit? Pugtato responds by saying, we aren't sure. I assume it most likely was because she did not want to have her info become public, because if you didn't know this, if you are on a public report, all of your information becomes public. Pat mentioned that Eleni doxed her, when in reality, Pat was doxed himself by being on a public record. Fact of the matter is, Pat was on a public record, and whether or not you like that, it is true, and this person confirms it later in our conversation. The question now is whether or not Pat actually is innocent, or whether or not Pat actually is guilty. It's not a question of whether or not Pat was arrested, because that is factual. Pugtato believes that the incident reports are real and says they ensure safety to their website, which means the stuff on it is legit, and Eleni and her supporters can't legally do that, aka change it, considering it has court signatures and is ran by Core. I don't know about you guys, but I had zero clue what Core was, so I went ahead and asked what it was. Can you give me a brief description of Core? Core is an e-portal owned by Duval County, Florida, which is what oversees, you know, all incidents in the area where Pat is actually from. Core stands for Clerk Online Resource Portal, the clerk of the circuit court. Imitating Core can actually cause a lawsuit, and they would quickly know if something was being imitated. It shows courts and arrest records. I then go on to say, so that shows legitimacy? May you please explain to me why a legit website would label Pat's weight and height incorrectly? Because to be frank, that was the question I was wondering. Why is Pat 0 pounds and as tall as Godzilla? That does not make sense, and that was your guys' question as well, and I had to ask it. Tato then says, most likely they quickly had him in jail Liz went to. We aren't sure if it is jail or custody of police, but it was urgent considering Liz's cuts and bruises. They updated his weight and averaged it. His height was recorded as 6'2". So that means if you go and search for this information right now online, it will not show 0 pounds and 602 inches. It will show his actual weight and height. At this point, I'm scrolling through my comment section because I was actually doing something at the time and I did not want to miss up this opportunity to have some frequently asked questions answered. And this is why I like you guys to comment. You know, comment down right now, pause the video, and tell me your opinion so far. Tell me if you have any other concerns. Because if after Pat makes this video, he doesn't cover certain things, I'm gonna have to be the one to cover it. So as I'm scrolling through my comments, I find a bunch of comments saying, well, that's not Pat's real name. That's not PopularMMOs' real name. His real name has Brown in it. And if you're acquainted with the situation, you know damn well how many people think that Pat has Brown in his name. So then I ask the question, very well, what do you have to say to the people who believe Pat's real name has Brown in it? And this was their take. It is a stage name, most likely used to conceal his personal life away from his career. He never made it to the point where he could even correct the documents by saying his last name was Brown. Just like usernames are used to protect sensitive information such as addresses and phone numbers, because there are multiple websites that can use the name to track people and their homes to leak their phone numbers, especially somebody with as much exposure as Pat. I assume it was for security above all. A lot of people defending Pat just shove aside the evidence we have without giving theirs. It's difficult to take in that Pat could be an abuser. And no kidding, that's hard to take in. I don't think I've been so sad in a long time till I heard that my childhood hero was arrested on account of battery. I think I've gotten over my stages of denial, and while I'm still keeping an open eye to all of this and all sides of the stories, as you can tell if you watch my past videos, I go from Pat did not do this, there's no way, to Pat maybe did this, to Pat probably did this. Of course, I want to wait to confirm all this till Pat actually makes a video on this situation, but as a fan of Pat, I would not want to wait this long for Pat to respond. I'd be shaking in my boots. I'd be going to the deepest edge of the internet to find out the information on what's happening, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm giving it to you. And yes, I would like you to like the video before you even ask. Pugtato then goes on to say, but the community needs to be open-minded with the case, as people were defending him by saying, he's my childhood, he couldn't do that. I see that a lot. I'm sure you guys have too. He's 5'9", his last name's Brown, but it's really not proving anything because we have actual police reports. And I mean, you can't really argue against the law, can you? And the third thing people say the most is, it's photoshopped, it's not real. So I asked this person, what would you say to those that argue that the proof is photoshopped? Pugtato responds with saying, it's close to impossible to photoshop something like a police report, especially if they're on Core. There hasn't been any legal drama between and possibly existent fake Core, because the real Core would actually seek legal action against the fake one. If you search Core Florida up, after visiting the police report, it shows that you visited the website, and then I go on to say, is Core 100% trustworthy? Because I know I mentioned it earlier, is it trustworthy? But I wanted confirmation, as most do. I can almost guarantee, and keep in mind the word almost, this person cannot 100% guarantee it, nor 100% decline it, of course. Police reports can't be faked legally, and is being used frequently due to popping up when you search for it. If Core was a fake resource, it would have been taken down already. And that's true. Something on the base internet that shows legal documentation and quote-unquote doxes Pat with public information is not something that'd be loud up if it was fake. I say thank you for your time and letting me interview you. They say you're welcome. I get consent to post these DMs. They say let me say one more thing. I say okay, and then they post a huge paragraph which I'm gonna put at the end of the video when usually my videos are being played, my previous videos, my next upload, whatnot. It will be on the screen after my outro. In my past video, I cover both of the incident reports, which once again not going into, but basically they're opposing stories. They're completely different in a sense. So different to where they both had to be arrested because in Florida in domestic battery cases, both sides have to be arrested if the stories don't line up. Then Pat went on to upload a video with Liz in it saying my girlfriend, and a lot of people came to my comments and was like, what's happening? What do you mean? How did they break up? How's he in jail if he posted this video with Liz? Let me explain. Personally, I believe that this video was pre-recorded with Liz. I have no clue why he said my girlfriend if it was pre-recorded, but if it was pre-recorded and he had that pre-entitled title, then I understand why he'd put it. Especially since a majority of Pat's audience is actually little kids. This is a way to indirectly respond to all the drama by basically saying everything's fine because he said he was with his girlfriend in the video he was with her. However, in Pat's newest video, he wasn't with his girlfriend, and there actually was a note which I'm gonna be showing you, and it's quite confusing and quite concerning. In the Popular MMOs video, he actually pulls up a note and reads the other side. However, the side that we can see actually has something written on it. What I can interpret from this note is, I never look at anyone but you. You get in your head so much, I'm gonna go sleep alone upstairs. Now, I have no clue whether or not this is Pat or Liz, but either way, it looks like a sign of a bad relationship. Especially with what I said in my last few videos, man, like this is not looking good. Well-known YouTuber BlowBlack's actually made a video confirming that all this legal documentation is actually factual, and if you want to dispute that, please go to his video and try your best. And Liz, once again Pat's ex-girlfriend, actually posted a video of her knees and then deleted them, and here's a photo of her and her knee on Twitter. They look a little bruised up. Of course I had to blur it a little because YouTube guidelines, but you can see where the red is. So to answer the question of those are like, hey waccd, how was she and Pat's newest video if they broke up? Hey waccd, how is Pat recording if he's in jail? Let me answer those two very briefly and very simply. Number one, the jail argument. Pat was bailed out of jail. It even said that in the police reports. Number two, Pat's ex-girlfriend Liz or a previous girlfriend, we're not sure if they're, you know, separated yet. It was pre-recorded. Some said Liz walked through Pat's newest video, and if she did, well, they're probably just still together but having a rough time. And this is why I really need Pat to respond, and I don't know why he hasn't yet. But to be fair, since Pat's audience is mostly children, I can understand why he won't. Pat did say on Twitter that since Eleni leaked my address, someone tried to put my house illegally on the market and to sell it. Thanks, Eleni, you are a great person. And I won't deny the fact that Eleni's not a good person. Hell, I've made a video saying why I dislike her so much. But from my knowledge, I'm pretty sure Pat's address was leaked due to him being on an actual police documentation, which is public information. But it is crazy how much information was on the police documentation since it's public. It basically was a full dox. And in Pat's news video, Liz actually was in it, and I just confirmed it, but what makes me wonder why she was in it is why is Liz posting all this stuff like, oh, I got bruises, oh, I'm injured. Like, she's actually posting this. It's not Eleni posting it, it is her. Then, being in Pat's video in the background, just saying like, oh, talking to him and stuff, not actually in the video for this one, because he started off the video with saying, I'm alone, and then Liz comes in later in the video to say, you know, oh, ha ha ha, should I heat it up for you? Like, why? I literally can't fathom if Pat's been arrested, then please explain this to me. Why is Liz still in this video? Why are Liz and Pat still talking after Liz filed domestic battery against him? Since Pat was quite frankly my childhood hero and one of the few that made me actually want to do YouTube, which makes me hope this is all false, but why is Liz even in this if Liz is posting about it herself? All this is quite the enigma, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Like I mentioned earlier, all this information was sent to me by someone in my Discord named TheGreatCon717, so please join my Discord, and here's what he had to say. Now this person might just be a random dude, but he claims to be Pat's neighbor. So this alleged person actually commented on my buddy 9DH's video the guy I made the Discord with. I know, I sound like a broken record. Please just join the Discord. But he commented a whole strand of things, and at the end he says that he's Pat's neighbor, so let's get right into reading what he said. The first person to comment's name is Zoid, but for the purpose of me not wanting to say that a million times, I'm just gonna call them Zoid. Zoid says, do not talk to Eleni and do not trust her. You don't understand how Eleni is. I know what happened in this situation. I can't say how, but don't trust her on what happened. First red light is trust me. Not in a million years am I gonna trust some random on the internet saying don't trust Eleni, especially when it's under a comment section. But for the sole purpose of trying to develop the story and getting more entertainment value, let's read the rest of this. She's obsessed with ruining Pat's reputation. It is not a good source. There's no drama between Pat and Liz and they are still together. The incident happened while they were both drunk, so don't give Eleni a platform to talk. Also, some of the legal paperwork she posted is fake. To be completely honest, I understand that if they were drunk that they'd still be together, but honestly, if all the things that happened was true when they were drunk, it's still pretty messed up. Yet again, I have zero right to tell them whether or not they should break up, and if they want to stay together after that altercation, well, kudos to them. This specific comment I just read actually has 21 replies, so if you haven't grabbed popcorn or left a like and subscribed yet, please do so. You just don't like her because Pat told you all not to like her. He lied and said awful lies. He's still lying. He lied his arrest warrant is false when it's true. And then instead of debacling what they said and saying you're wrong, that didn't happen, he didn't say anything. He just said, have you ever met Eleni before? Insinuating that Zoid actually has met Eleni. Chan responds with saying she probably changed into a new person and realized she shouldn't be a gold digger anymore. She's probably now a good person. A new character in the situation named Devin responds and said, Zoid, no. That is why I don't hate someone just because someone told me to hate them. Just because a popular person says rumors and lies and makes fun of them does not mean it's true or that I believe it. He, aka Pat, was an angry, rejected man that lost his wife and then Eleni because of his ego and rage. He didn't want to look like a loser. He went kinda out of control after his breakup. Dude, he's a grown man acting like a fool over a breakup. Like, come on, it happens to millions of people every day. Pat just thinks he's special and wanted attention by mocking her. To his fans, she's doing great in life, but Pat got himself arrested, so yeah, I call it like it is. He is the problem. Damn, before I even comment on this, can you guys comment your opinion on what this person said? Are they spitting or really wrong? This Devin character that also wrote a paragraph which I just read says, Chan, she has no reason to change. She's still doing great, but Pat hangs out with sex workers and a young 20-year-old under legal drinking age girl and supplied her with alcohol. Got himself arrested 5 days ago, so Eleni is fine. Pat is the bad one. He looks bad now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I did hear somewhere that Liz is actually 20 years old, and if they were both drunk, well then, yet again, a year's still a year under the drinking age, and if they were both drunk and she's 20, well then I see that as somewhat of a problem. I don't know about you guys, let me know. Zoid responds to Devin by saying, I kinda saw what happened, you were not there. I won't say some stuff, but Pat is innocent. Liz is not under the legal drinking age. Shut the frick up until you know what actually happened. I'm hearing two different sides of the same story here, man. Is Liz over or under the age of 21? I still don't know. Maurice responds by saying, are you Mel from Twitter? Which this guy's ad right now is someone who knows Pat actually personally, supposedly, and knows more about the situation than we do. I think I DM'd him or pinged him saying, hey man, can you tell me what you know? But he hasn't responded yet. Both of them claim to know what happened last night, and then Zoid responds by saying, Maurice, no I don't have Twitter. It could possibly be that he/she is one of my neighbors that may also got angry because of the leaked address. Maurice responds by saying, then how do you know what happened in the situation? Do you know Pat personally? And then Zoid responds with a nice little paragraph saying, I am his neighbor and I'm not super close. We talk every once in a while. I was confused why they said the police were there because I never saw any police lights. I don't know a lot of the situation, but I know that she's bipolar and they have arguments sometimes outside, but they seem very happy together most of the time. And yeah, Pat did say that Liz was bipolar. I also know that they were only a couple for a couple of months and they haven't had any instance that I can recall. Maurice responds by saying, oh okay, so no matter what, she is bipolar, but being bipolar does cause you to lie? Because they gave conflicting reports, which is factual information. I read both sides and both of the incident reports in the video top right, so if you want to see that, go click now. If you're still here, what's up? Zoid responds by saying them both being drunk at the time and that she is bipolar could be difficult for them to both recall the situation more accurately. Patrick's version of what happened is most likely to be accurate because her sudden changing in her mind while they were having fun makes a lot of sense. The alcohol and the bipolar mixes for the perfect storm for this type of behavior from Liz. Maurice responds by saying, oh okay, well thanks for the info. It's nice getting it from someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Zoid responds by saying, thanks, just ask, I'll try to answer questions to the best of my ability. Maurice responds by saying, what do you suppose Liz's injuries came from if not from Pat slamming her onto the ground as she told the police? And the weird thing is, Zoe never actually responded to that. He led off into a question by saying, is Mal the girl? Basically the ad up above, which knows Pat. Seems like he kinda dodged this question. Then this person named Lunar Psych responds by saying, the girl that thinks they're a boy? He's a legal adult, man. WTF do you mean? Because that's something he said, which I'm not covering because it's literally just a rant. Zoe responds by saying, we're on the same side, so either he's a liar, he lives in my neighborhood and I don't know it, or he just knows him online, referring to the ad above. The last message of this strand comes from Zoid responding to Lunar by saying, it is difficult difficult to tell his or her gender, and identifying as a boy is different from actually being a boy. I'm not gonna mock them, but I will refer to them as their real gender. What a unique way to end off the conversation, man. Also, with the shocking update I'm gonna talk about later in the video, hell, it does not make him look any better. The only thing Pat has done so far in the situation is talk badly about Eleni on Twitter because she's a main antagonist in the situation. By antagonist, I mean antagonist to Pat because she's been online promoting this shit, talking about it, posting all over Instagram. She does not want this shit to be private. Something I've yet to mention is the fact that Pat actually lives in Florida. With that, in Florida, in domestic battery cases, if both sides have opposing stories, then both sides get arrested. So yes, Liz was also arrested. With that, this whole altercation had to be settled somehow, so a court date was arranged. And let me just say, when this evidence came out, I was kinda shocked. It is said on public record that Pat actually missed his court date. Now, I know there's a lot of things that could have caused this, but it does make him look very bad in the situation. Pat says that there's false allegations against him and that doesn't show up to the court date to prove it? Come on now. And it's not like Pat's lacking money, man. He could buy the best lawyer money could buy. And hell, if he really is innocent, he shouldn't have any problems disproving what he's done. Well, allegedly done and what he allegedly didn't do. It's kind of confusing, but you understand what I'm saying, hopefully. And for the other half of this video, I'm gonna have my buddy 90H come on this video, and if you've been keeping up with this drama, then you probably know who he is. And if you haven't been keeping up with the drama and him, well, you probably know him from one of my older videos, and if you don't know him at all, well, bear with me. 90H is gonna give his opinion on Eleni, so you guys don't flood my comments with it, and if you made it this far, comment down Cupcake and I'll heart your comment. Without any further ado, enjoy 90H's part. Also, his channel will be linked in the description.
So waccd brought me onto his channel because he can't get to 8 minutes, and you know, he needs to get to 8 minutes for the extra monetization because he's a horrible YouTuber and he's scummy. And also for the algorithm. I guess he got the grind in mind. But today I'm going to be talking about Eleni and also a little bit about the situation that just happened. And I'm pretty sure waccd already talked about it and told you what happened. So I'm not sure if you know who I am really, but if you're a big fan of PopularMMOs, well, I'm probably a little known because I've made a few videos completely shitting on Eleni. But the recent drama which involves PopularMMOs being arrested and whatever, I see literally everyone. I mean, there's so many people saying, oh my god, PopularMMOs is getting victimized by Eleni. Eleni is setting them up for failure, blah blah blah. Eleni is not the person who's in a domestic violence case with PopularMMOs. It's right now Liz. All Eleni did was bring forward the records and all the facts of the stuff. So before I say anything else, I feel like this is important for this video because all the videos I've made, and I made like 5 PopularMMOs updates, everyone says this. It's not Eleni who is being in a domestic violence, it is Liz, and Eleni has nothing to do with the situation. So before I give you my opinion on pretty much the new evidence brought forward, I posted a quick community post talking about the situation, and this is what I said. PopularMMOs arrested drama update. I'm not making any videos until further information, but I still have a big update that I'll explain here. Pat didn't show up to his arraignment, and he was assigned a new attorney and a new arraignment date for July. I don't know what happened, if his new attorney was dropped him or something. And then I attached this image. Now this update is quite interesting if you really think about it because, I mean, this was supposed to be the time of reckoning, you know, the time where we figured out if PopularMMOs was the evil man or if he was a good guy. And for some odd reason, well, it's not like that anymore because now we have to wait another month. If I'm being honest, and I think everyone can agree, this drama is getting really annoying, and it's because Pat won't address it. And I hate to say it because I love Pat, and I've made that quite clear if you watched any of my videos. Also to the fact that, you know, it's literally been going on for a month now. It's so annoying, this drama. It's so long. And it's going to be like the Eleni drama where it goes on for 7 months. I think everyone can agree when I say this. This drama just needs to end. Tell us that he's a good guy or is he a bad guy? Of course, don't make your decision yet until the very end. But, I mean, it's getting annoying like I just said because, I mean, the drama's not f***ing ending. But yeah, that was my part of the video. Go subscribe to waccd. Also, go subscribe to me, but yeah, that's pretty much it, Ronald McDonald. I'll hand the mic back to waccd.
Thank you all for watching this far, and thank you 90H for coming in my video. Although, let me just mention, I'm no Ronald McDonald, and you know I'd beat you up. Hey, you guys mean a lot to me, and I want to know your guys' opinion, so make sure to comment down what you think about this drama, because it really is a weird one. I understand why you want to believe Pat, but I also understand that you should be looking at the evidence presented to us so far. If you made it this far, comment down what you had for breakfast and I'll rate it 1 out of 10 because I really doubt many of you made it this far. Sorry for the lazy upload, but I really didn't have anything else to cover, so comment down something you want me to talk about or join my Discord and leave a comment in hashtag video suggestions. Thank you all for watching, have a blessed day, go do something productive, adios amigos.